What up? What up? What up? What up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to day four. Day four of the challenge, man. We're about to get into it, man. Before we get started, though, I want everybody to drop where you chiming in from, what state, what city, whether you coming in from your house, your garage, your basement, your business, your car. Let me know, man. Let me know where you chiming in from, man. Hope everybody's having a productive, profitable, and purposeful week. Today's Thursday, man. Today's Thursday. Yeah. For some people, the weekend's today because tomorrow's the 4th of July, man. Independence Day for America. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Got to celebrate. Drop in the chat, man. Where you chiming in from, though, man? We're about to start up in about a minute and a half. Gonna let some people get some time to jump in, and we'll chime in here, man. How's the weather by y'all, man? Drop hot if y'all are hot where you are right now, man, because it's blazing out here, bro. It ain't as bad as the heat wave we caught a week ago, though, man. That shit was bonkers. Yeah. All right. Chime in, man. Chime in where you chiming in from, man. Let's go. Let's get ready to get it popping. Yeah, today's day four, man. It's the shift from surviving to leading yourself. You can't outperform what you don't own, y'all. It's not gonna happen. Can't outperform what you don't own. You ever feel like you're doing all the right things, but you still feel behind? Like you made it through hell, got back on your feet, maybe even started kicking some and stacking some wins. But deep down inside, you know that you're still reacting to life. You're not directing. Welcome to day four. This is the shift. This is the day that you stop surviving and start leading yourself from within. Let's kill all that noise right now. Getting sober for me wasn't the hard part. For somebody leaving the relationship, it ain't the hard part. Surviving the storm, that's just a warm up. You know what's hard? What's difficult is leading yourself after the storm. Yeah, that's where the work is. That's where it's at. That's where it gets difficult because freedom without leadership, it just turns into chaos. I see it every day. People break the habit, but they never take the throne that they're meant to sit in. They stop numbing themselves, but they never take command of their focus. They get sober. They overcome the adversity, whatever that challenge is in life. But they're still playing small in life. And that was me. I got sober. But at first, I wasn't in control. I was still living in reaction, still waiting for someone to believe in me. Still waiting for someone to tell me what to do. I was still waiting for the old me to magically wake up and start handling shit. But that version of me died. And I had no idea how to lead with the one that I was left with. Until I asked myself the realest question I ever asked myself. The realest question that I ever faced in my life. I asked myself, if I don't trust me, who the fuck will? If you don't trust yourself, how the fuck is somebody else going to trust you? Let me take you to a moment that changed me. I was about 90 days sober, still trying to figure shit out, still trying to figure out who the hell I was without pills, without dope, without drugs, without chaos, without the identity that I built around being the high achieving fuck up. I'll never forget, I got invited to speak at this recovery meeting. And the room was full of men. This early in recovery. 20 dudes, 30 dudes, all fighting. They were all fighting their demons, just like I was. And I thought I could coast through it. I thought I could wing it. I told my story 1,000 times at that point. I thought pain alone would be able to carry me through. Nah, it didn't. I walked into that room and delivered one of the worst talks I ever delivered in my life. Rambled, disconnected, no presence, no punch. Nobody was moved. They weren't even listening. And I felt that shit every second. Afterward, this young dude comes up to me, eyes red, hoodie over his head. And he says to me, yo, bro, I really wanted to believe you. I really did, but I couldn't feel you, bro. Yo, when this youngin' said that to me, that line right there rocked my world. Because he was right. I wasn't leading. I was just still surviving. I was performing, not serving. And I knew that. After that meeting, man, I sat in my car, knuckles white, right on that steering wheel. My stomach was in knots. Replay after replay in my head. Every second of me bullshit in that room. And I told myself, I said, that shit is never going to happen again. That wasn't a goal. That was a vow I made to myself. That was a vow that I made to my creator, because my creator put me here to go out there and create impact. My creator put me out here to go out there and share my story. And I said, I'll never, ever walk into a space half ready again. A vow to stop expecting pain and to do present work. Because that past pain is supposed to catapult me into my work, not stop me from doing my work. And it was a vow to start acting like the man that I said I wanted to become. Because I can't tell God, help me be the best version of myself that I could be, but then not go out there and give my best. From that moment on, I started leading differently. I prepped like it was war. I showed up with reverence. I didn't speak to impress. I spoke like lives were on the line, because they were. I stopped freelancing my calling, and I started respecting the opportunity. That's when I realized. That leadership ain't one loud moment. Leadership is 100 and thousands of quiet moments. It's what you do in the dark that determines who you are in the light. Let me say that shit again. It's what you do in the dark that determines who you are in the light. And the shift, it didn't happen overnight. I still had days where my thoughts felt like they were sprinting in circles. I still have moments where I wanted to disappear and go numb out. But I didn't give in. I didn't give in to the enemy. I didn't give in to that comfort zone side and staying comfortable. I showed up anyway. I got uncomfortable with I got uncomfortable with it. I got comfortable with being uncomfortable. I kept notes. I tracked wins. I turned silence into structure. I gave myself non-negotiables. Wake up and pray. Journal before I scroll. Move my body before I move my mouth. Speak life before I touch the world. And that wasn't for the audience. That was for me. Now, let me take you to another moment that nobody saw. I was maybe about, I don't know, 7, 8 months clean, still raw, still wondering if I had what it takes to stay on path. And one night I sat in my room alone. Nobody texting, nobody calling, just silence. And a list that was in front of me. A list of all the things that I said I do now that I was sober. Call my sister and make things right. Build a routine. Hit a meeting. Journal. Pray. Make amends with other family members. Start creating something that mattered. Make amends with friends that I owe that amends to. And I wasn't doing any of it. I was procrastinating like a motherfucker. I had the freedom, but not the follow through. I had the desire, but no direction. And I walked to the mirror. I looked at myself dead in the eyes. And I said, ain't nobody going to save you. And I meant it. Not in bitterness, not in anger. With clarity, with peace. Because I finally really understood this life, this comeback. It's on me now. So I picked one thing from that list, just one, and I did it. The next day, I did it again. And the next day, I did it again. I built consistency like a wall, one brick at a time. And brick by brick, I started to trust myself. What did those bricks look like? Saying no when it was easy to say yes. Staying in silence when distraction was calling, because distraction's always out there calling. This right here is your biggest distraction. So I had to get disciplined with it. I had to learn when to put it away. I had to learn when to say no to people that wanted to distract me from my purpose. The other thing was owning my past without letting it run my future. And realizing that my past catapults me into my future. It doesn't define who I am. And I had to learn to build confidence by honoring my word, being a man of integrity. Turning down the volume of the world so that I could hear the whisper of my purpose again. That happens when you remove the distractions. And then showing up when nobody's clapping, moving when nobody noticed, pushing when nobody's out there praising. That's the brick most people skip. The one laid out there when nobody sees it but you. That's the most important brick you got to lay. That's the most important brick of that foundation. I wasn't just being disciplined. I was becoming someone I could count on. And that hits different when you spent your whole life being the one who breaks promises. What's up, man? I see you, girl. The difference between staying sober and staying solid, I didn't want a life I had to manage. I wanted a legacy that I knew I could lead. You see, Most people are addicted to chaos because that's where they learn how to survive. But peace, nah, man. Peace requires leadership. And leading yourself in peace is way harder than leading yourself in pain. Pain makes you desperate. Pain makes you disciplined. Peace makes you disciplined. And that's the shift right there. It's easy to lead when everything's on fire, but it's much harder to lead when nothing's forcing your hand. But that's where the power lives. Not in your panic, but in your peace. When I finally stopped chasing highs and started keeping promises and being a man of my word, that's when I knew I wasn't just sober. I was finally in command. But this leadership, it ain't about perfection. It's about being in alignment. It's about choosing to show up when nobody's out there clapping. And when I finally started doing that consistently, everything started to shift. I started to trust myself again. I started to realize that, man, I can count on me. And when I could count on me, other people could count on me. And when you trust yourself, you stop begging other people to validate your worth. Because you know your worth, because you trust your worth. You stop chasing that applause. You stop needing permission. And you start moving like the standard. You don't just get ready. You stay ready. You don't rise to the occasion. You rise because that's your normal. That's who you are. You're meant to rise to the occasion. You don't need hype. You operate from principle. And when you operate from principle, that's when people start feeling your presence before you even open your mouth. Your energy is exuding through you. People feel that energy. And that's when the room shifts. That's when respect walks in before your name gets called. So let me ask you something. Where in your life are you still surviving when you should be leading? Where are you still bargaining with your greatness? Where are you still waiting for someone else to come clean up when you were born to command? Because here's the truth. You're not waiting on motivation. What you're really doing, you're avoiding mastery. Come on, man. Stop embarrassing yourself. You're meant to be in mastery. You're meant to master your life. But you got to step into it. And every day you delay, your legacy bleeds. So today we stop bleeding. We stop reacting. We stop wishing. Today we start leading. So your day 4 challenge. Write down one area where you've been surviving instead of leading. Number 2, you name the habit. Name the habit or behavior that you've been avoiding in that area. Then I want you to do one action today that proves you're back in the driver's seat. And lastly, underneath all that, write this down. This doesn't need more hype. It needs a leader. And I'm that leader. One more time. This doesn't need more hype. It needs a leader. And I'm that leader. I'm meant to lead. Say it loud. Say it proud. Feel it. Bring it into existence. And walk it out. Because you aren't meant to just talk the talk. You're meant to walk the walk. The choice is yours. What are you going to do? You're going to keep hiding from what you're meant to be? Or you're going to walk and live in that purpose? This is day 4. This is the day you stop reacting to your past and you start building your future. It's the day that you stop hiding from all the chaos, all that old bullshit chaos, and you start walking in new command with your life. It's the day that you stop waiting for a savior and realize you already met the savior. Look in the mirror. You're the savior of your life. You co-create your life with your creator. It's within you. Lead yourself and let the world feel what happens when the most dangerous version of you finally takes that steering wheel. Today's day 4, y'all. Let's get it, man. Tomorrow, day 5, same channel, same time, all of it. Let's get it, man. Stay productive, stay profitable, and most importantly, stay blessed, y'all.